Internet security agents say Iran's infrastructure, including its main nuclear power plant, is being targeted by a new and dangerously powerful cyber worm. The so-called Stuxnet worm is specifically designed, it seems, to infiltrate and sabotage real-world power plants and factories and refineries.
All right, there you have a backgrounder, as they say. Joining us now is Kim Zetter, award-winning senior staff writer at Wired, and she has a great new book out, folks, which is It's All So True, and it just reads like a, like a spy novel. Countdown to Zero Day, Stuxnet, and the launch of the world's first digital weapon. Hello, Kim.
Hello, good morning.
Good, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right, so, my first awareness of this was when, we heard about Iran's centrifuges slowing down, dying out, whatever, and naturally the world's attention turned to this was Israel's way of combating. Instead of dropping bombs and trying to penetrate, mountains to get to this stuff, they came up with this kind of internet bug.
Yeah, so the West, the U.S. and Israel have been trying to push back this uranium enrichment program for about a decade. It was initially discovered and exposed in 2002. And during that period, they managed to sort of slow the progress with sanctions, diplomacy, and other means, other sabotage means. And it was coming down to the wire, and Israel was really looking at trying to launch an airstrike. And so this was an alternative to that, to avoid collateral damage and to avoid a possible war with Iran if we did bomb the factory. And what it did was it pushed the uranium enrichment program back possibly about 3 years, but it didn't halt it entirely.
Now, I'm not a computer geek by any means, but this is explain how this is so different than what we have seen before, how this is, as you put it in the title of your book, the world's first digital weapon. What makes it so unique?
Well, most malware is designed to get on systems and steal data. If you look at the credit card breaches that we have, or breaches that involve the theft of passwords and other login credentials, or they can get into a computer and just sort of ruin its operation or slow down its operation. But this wasn't designed to do anything necessarily to the computers that it infected. What it wanted to do was leap the gap from the digital realm to the physical realm and physically destroy equipment that the computers were controlling. In this case, the equipment was centrifuges that Iran was using to enrich uranium at the plant.
Right. Now you say in your book that this was traced to the U.S. and Israel. I mean, I know that Israel certainly never commented on this officially, and I doubt the U.S. has either. But you also say that it was the wrong thing to do. How so?
Well, it was reckless in the sense that it's basically launched the era of digital warfare for us. So what it did was legitimize this as a viable option for responding to political disputes that nations have with one another. The U.S. can't stand on its moral high ground on its soapbox now and accuse other countries of engaging in this kind of activity when it's been shown to be behind one of the first digital weapons launched. So it's done that, and in another sense, once Stuxnet was discovered, there were a lot of other nations that have jumped on the bandwagon now to develop their own cyber warfare programs. So what we have now is a digital arms race of countries trying to produce stockpiles of digital weapons just to maintain parity with each other.
Well, I mean, China or Russia hacking into our systems, which they've been doing for years, or threatening to, let's say a foreign country shuts down our power grid with the intent of killing and starving our people. I don't think that that's the equivalent of trying to prevent Iran, a hostile terrorist nation, from getting a nuclear weapon. Do you?
Well, everyone, I think that there are two responses to this, and everyone can have their own opinion on this. There are obviously advantages to this kind of an attack, to a digital attack. As I said, it avoids an airstrike, it avoids an all-out war with Iran. Right. And if Iran is indeed or was indeed on the path toward producing nuclear weapons, then this helps resolve that to a certain extent.
You got 10 seconds for the but.
But all the other things that I said, it's launched the age of digital warfare, and other countries now want to engage this, and it's legitimized this for them.
Kim, great book, Countdown to Zero Day. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks. Kim Zetter, we're coming back. Give me 5.